the mainstream media's job is to ask questions and, not get these little exposés on Justin Trudeau. So I feel like it was staged. I don't feel like it's so weird, man. What the hell do you trust these days? Right? Like, how convenient amidst all this tariff stuff. Like, when's the last time that Trudeau ever got hit with the hot mic? Right? Like, when has that ever happened? When has that ever happened? Like, very rarely. It's always in a time of insane turmoil where it's like, oh, wow. Whoa, look what he said behind closed doors. It's a real threat. All right. Government is prorogued, so nothing really serious is supposed to be happening. But yet again, the gift that keeps on giving, sort of, at least from an entertainment perspective. Oh, my goodness. Some more breaking news. Justin Trudeau got heckled, and I made a video about that over on my extra channel. But for those that didn't see it, we're going to just isolate that clip and we're going to take a look at that in this video. Justin Trudeau caught hot miking at a press gallery at a meeting where he said, oh my goodness, Trump is super duper serious about taking over Canada, guys. What are we going to do? Wow. Trump is now looking at almost $1 trillion of wasteful spending by the White House, by the previous administration. There's so much to take a look at. And then Jagmeet Singh's going, yeah, we need to combat Trump taking Canada because I said so and vote for me. And then there's also the fraudulent and very misleading poll by mainstream media that shows that Mark Carney is the preferred person to go up against Trump, when I did my own poll, like I said I would in my previous video this morning, that completely debunks that. Whew, that's a lot. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage y'all to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. And I do have to say that it was so much easier to hide my really crappy hairdo when I had longer hair. I would just tie it back and that was it. And now you can see that I don't put product in my hair. I don't comb my hair. Whatever it looks like, if I look like a doofus, if it's sticking up, if it's standing down, who cares? That's just how I go about my day. So yeah, that's going to take some getting used to, but without further ado, let's get right into this video, shall we? Starting off here with Zelensky, the biggest grifter of all time. Justin. So you got Ukraine. 9 out of 10 media outlets in Ukraine are funded by U.S. aid, says WikiLeaks, which is insane, man. Oh my goodness. There's so much wasteful spending going on, not only in Canada, but in America. And then my reference to $1 trillion here. Here you go. Trump says that Elon Musk's Doge will audit the Pentagon spending. In 2024, they failed their 7th consecutive financial audit, unable to account for $824 billion, just shy of $1 trillion.
And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted, and perhaps illegally. I would say certainly in many cases illegally, but perhaps illegally overall. And I'm very proud of the job that this group of young people, generally young people, but very smart people, they're doing. They're doing it at my insistence. It would be a lot easier not to do it, but we have to take some of these things apart to find the corrupt.
That's absolutely insane. And good job for America. Now, all we need here in Canada is a Canadian Doge, or we'll call it polar bear or something weird that's Canadian. But we absolutely need somebody to go through our finances with a fine comb, tooth and nail, or whatever the heck the saying is. Now let's take a look at some Canadian stuff. You got Justin Trudeau here. You're going to see me. I'm on the edge. So we're watching me watch Justin Trudeau. But let's just take a look at this clip here. This is isolating Trudeau getting heckled earlier today.
Hi, Justin. It's time to resign, Justin. Justin, nobody likes you anymore, Justin.
No doubt.
Justin, you destroyed the country. The highest tax levels in the G7, Justin. You destroyed the country so much that our greatest ally wants to take us over, Justin.
No freaking doubt, man.
Justin, do a Trump dance for me. Come on, do a Trump dance. You trumpet.
And then what was kind of weird is when he hopped into his motorcade here, I really hyper-focused myself previously today on these banners. They've got the LGBTQ freaking banner here, flag, and Trudeau's car is right behind it. So I don't know why. Is this like subliminal messaging that he's, I don't even have to say it, but we're all thinking it. Anyways, moving on to some other Canadian news. We got to take a look at the poll. Who's best for the job? 40% of Canadians apparently say that Mark Carney is. 26 say that Pierre Poilievre is the best for the job for negotiations with Trump. 13% say chrystia Freeland, probably not what she was hoping for, and 1% say Karina Gould, who, by the way, all of these people, if I'm not mistaken, that are running for the Liberal leadership race, they've all finalized their bid. So it's actually happening. Karina Gould submitted the final amount of money today. I believe so did Freeland. Mark Carney for sure, ZC's running. So kind of a waste for Karina to run, but hey, anyways, let's just compare that to the poll I did earlier today on my channel. Now, this poll might be different from if you go to look at it right now. At the time of this recording, 3.8 thousand votes. Maybe it's got 5, maybe it's got 7. Who knows? But there's going to be a bit of a buffer. You can see that it's 99% people are saying that Pierre should be prime minister and deal with the negotiations versus 1% of Mark Carney. So in 2 hours, I got 4 times the amount of votes that these people do for their silly polls. And it just goes to show, man, that the mainstream media, I don't understand this. I don't understand how they're picking their people, why they're doing it off of 1,000 people. You can see that Mark Carney's not even an elected official. Most Canadians don't necessarily even know anything really about him. So how could they possibly say that he's better for the job to go against Donald Trump? It blows my mind, but I would love to know what you guys think down below in the comments about that. And now we're talking about this breaking news story that was not on the top of my list today, but I did stumble upon it. A Canadian warship commander relieved of duty due to loss of confidence. Now, I know what you're thinking. DEI, right? Well, no, it is his command. You can see here a brief statement from the Vice Admiral says that Commander Adriano Lozer was removed from his command of HMCS Ottawa to ensure effective leadership of the frigate. Now, I know the go-to, question is it DEI? Is it DEI? It doesn't seem to be, but I don't know. I guess we're having some problems here with our Navy. I think we're just having problems all around with our Canadian forces, and we need to do something about that. Really big, massive. We need to get rid of a lot of those woke policies and just get back to it's not about feelings, it's about facts and making our military tough as shit. But that's my opinion. And then you got here, Global News is saying, could a west to east oil pipeline finally happen in Canada? There's renewed push, but experts say it's unlikely. Kind of a crazy thing to say. And this is amid, a bunch of tensions where Trump is possibly wanting to annex. It seems like he's really wanting to annex Canada because of our minerals. So let's take a look here.
We don't need their oil and gas.
U.S. President Donald Trump continues to tout plans for energy independence, fueling conversations about where else Alberta could send its oil.
And I think it took this threat of tariffs coming out of the United States to really expose how vulnerable we are in Canada.
Sonia Savage is a former energy minister in Alberta. She worked on the Northern Gateway pipeline project. She argues the project, moving oil to BC's north coast, would have opened up opportunity beyond the U.S. Premier Danielle Smith believes the project might deserve another chance.
Well, I think the veto of Northern Gateway in 2016 was probably the biggest, if not the biggest, one of the biggest mistakes this country has ever made.
Earlier this week, Grand Chief Stuart Phillips suggested he now supported the project revival. But Wednesday, the Union of BC Indian Chiefs president walked back his comments, writing, "I do not support resuscitating dead projects, which would have been an absolute disaster for our lands and waters."
given the changing economic context and market dynamics, it does not make any more sense to try to revive the project.
Shut the hell up. The only way Canada's going to get back to being a strong and respected country is if we literally just either ignore, or I'm not advocating for like silencing free speech, but all of these woke people that are like, oh, oil and gas bad, oh, the environment, shut the hell up. First of all, like, you start saying that oil and gas is bad and that we need to protect our environment first and foremost before we start using our natural resources. I completely, like, you're not even a real human being at that point, because you don't understand how the real world works. The world needs oil and gas. Canada needs oil and gas, and we have so much of it. We could be such a freaking rich country. So any politician, any analyst, any person that's saying, oh, but we need the environmental standards. Dude, Canada has one of the highest. We have a stick up our ass when it comes to this. I'm sorry. I know people watch this on TV, and I apologize to anyone who's watching this on their TV and they got friends or family or whatever out there that can hear me swear. I'm trying to do better. Okay. So first of all, that. Second of all, the way that we go about anything in Canada, our environmental standards are so tight, one of the highest compared to any other country in the world. There is not, I don't think there's another country that can compare to how delicately we go about even our own lumber, right? Like, you can't just go 24 hours a day with lumber. There's only so much that you can take from our forests within a certain amount of time. Like, there's so many restrictions, and that's just for our lumber. When it comes to this stuff, oil and gas, and dealing with potential spillages and things like that, dude, Canada is so good and careful about that. I don't want to say we're too careful. I'm just saying that we are very, very careful. We're the best, and it's way better for us to do our own stuff than to buy from other places around the world that have really crappy standards. It's a complete waste of our resources. So people like that chick there that are saying, oh, it's a dead project. Shut the heck up, man. Come on, get out of the way. All that liberal wokeness, all that NDP stuff, anti-pipeline, anti-oil, I just want to silence them. I know, call me a dictator, whatever you want. Who cares at this point? We need to make Canada strong and powerful, and just shut their lips like that. Ferme la bouche. But hey, that's my opinion. It's a little strong, but I would like to know yours. And then we got this clip here that seems to be going a little bit viral on X, posted by Mark Nixon, saying, breaking, Liberals are walking back their border security promises again. They said they'd send 10,000 troops. Now they're mocking the idea. Let's take a look.
Why should the longest undefended border in the world, which we pride ourselves in having, 400,000 people a day cross the border back and forth, billions of dollars of trade back and forth, jobs at stake? I don't understand why somebody can sort of willy-nilly throw out a suggestion that the entire Canadian border should be militarized. I don't think that's predicated on fact or evidence. We have incredibly strong teams, a strong border which is getting stronger. The RCMP, the CBSA, conservation officers, Indigenous police, provincial police forces, municipal police forces are cooperating. This is an important moment because we have jobs at stake. And so I think Mr. Poilievre has some explaining to do.
All right, so that guy should be fired or step aside, because clearly you're not good for the job. And it's kind of poetic that, I don't know if it's the LGBTQ colors or flag in the background, but I might as well be. That's what I see. Look, this is crazy. Our border is absolute shite. We've known about this. We have an issue. And if America says jump when it comes to fixing our own country, then we don't really have a choice. And anyone who's like, well, of course we got a choice. We should be sticking it to them and standing up for our own sovereignty. Yeah, okay, but without America, Canada would A, be invaded, and B, we would have no money because they are our biggest paycheck and almost our only paycheck. So yeah, these politicians are just not really understanding how the world works, but hey, they're liberals. What do you expect? And speaking of crazy people, you've got this douche magoosh back in the news because he's got something to say. How Trump is a big bad bowie. Trump's a bowie.
We know that Donald Trump wants Canada as the 51st state. Let us be clear, that is his goal. He has said that again and again. He has put that out on social media. That is his goal. He wants our water. He wants our critical minerals. He wants our natural resources. And he wants to let his billionaire buddies come into Canada and privatize our healthcare to make profits off the backs of people who are sick. He wants to turn sick people into cash cows. That is what he wants to do.
How do we retaliate? They're going to attack. Clearly, they've already started it. They're going to keep doing it. How do we keep defending it and retaliation?
I've said this before, and I really believe this. Donald Trump has shown himself to be a bully in many ways, and right now he's being an economic bully. And the only thing a bully understands is strength. We got to show strength. So retaliatory terrorist is one thing. We also have to hit him and his buddies where it counts. So that's why I've called for shutting off the flow of critical minerals. We know that we are one of the only reliable sources of critical minerals for the United States, and cutting off the flow of critical minerals would directly hit Elon Musk, the billionaire buddy of Donald Trump, also the billionaire buddy of Pierre, also I should say, but it'll hit him directly. And that is a way for us to fight back and to push back. We've got to bring the fight. We've got to show that we're ready to fight back, to defend our jobs, to defend our country and our values.
Yeah, no, absolutely friggin' not. We should not be fighting back at all. We should be fixing our own stuff, not only because that's what Donald Trump has asked us, or rather demanded us to do, but because that these things that are being demanded / asked / voluntold, they are things that directly benefit us, and we should have been doing that right from the get-go anyways. But that's not the only clip from Jagmeet Singh. There's also one that's posted right here on his channel where he just goes off on a freaking tangent again.
What Trump, though, is really about, and it is very clear, he is about making Canada the 51st state. That is what he is about. He has made that very clear. We don't need to guess about what his intentions are. He's repeated it. He wants to use economic pressure on Canada to put us in a weak position. He has been very clear. That is what he wants to do. So we need to fight back.
No, fighting back is definitely not the answer. And even if Trump is serious about that, look, I'm not saying that we should be the 51st state. I'm saying that we should be focusing on our own stuff right now. Whatever happens is going to happen. If Trump wanted to literally take Canada, there's nothing that we could do to stop it. I don't think anyone's going to get up and fight. And even if we did, it wouldn't be a very long fight. It'd be a very short fight because it's America that we're talking about. So priority one is just fixing our stuff and worrying about what's going on here within our borders. And to talk about that is some other liberal politicians, and they are literally throwing these tantrums. They're throwing these tantrums. One chick even says, "Don't screw with us," to Donald Trump, as if she can actually, as if that holds anything. Like that, it's just such an empty threat. I don't understand. Any Canadian that's watching this going, "Oh, I'm glad our politicians are standing up for Canada." It's literally nothing. They're just shooting into the void. They can't stop whatever America wants to do. They can't do anything.
And the message I want to send to Canadians is this country is strong. Don't screw with us. We will come out ahead.
I just think from a general perspective, Americans would never want to invade or take over or absorb Canada. We see Canada as our closest ally, friend, and partner. And so I think if you asked any everyday American, they would never assume that it would be real. I absolutely think energy security has been abundantly clear that that's a priority for the Trump administration. I think critical minerals are a huge part of that. Canada is much further along in developing their resources and have more resources than the United States. So it is a point of leverage and a point of conversation that Canada can lean into as they're looking at the renegotiation of the USMCA.
When you rely on Google and Amazon to supply all of your government services, you're unable to have a sovereign country. And so if we do want to use this moment to pivot, if we do want to use this moment to do something bold, we've got to look at the areas of where the economy is going. Cybersecurity is a tremendous issue. We are experiencing mimetic warfare from the President of the United States. We must respond as we are experiencing mimetic warfare. If we as Canadians are able to actually understand that the goods that we create will be bought because other countries are experiencing the same challenges. We will open markets. We will have goods that they want. And so as we have these conversations, I think it's great that the premiers are actually finally talking about removing provincial trade barriers. But
yeah, that should have been done a long time ago. I mean, that's a phenomenal way for Canada to very much prosper and get ahead. And I think that anyone who's against that is a little bit nuts. Now we're going to be taking a look at this hot mic controversy and how Justin Trudeau is under the impression that Trump is 100% serious that he wants to annex and possibly could even annex Canada. Let's take a look.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called a last-minute economic summit today to discuss the threat of U.S. tariffs. Now, he addressed hundreds of business, labor, and policy experts this morning in Toronto, vowing to bring free trade across Canada. But it was his comments behind closed doors that are garnering the most attention.
Excellent. I suggest that not only does the Trump administration know how critical maybe you're going to hear me part of why they keep talking about absorbing us and making us they're very aware of what we have, and they very much to benefit from them. But
and Taria Isri, who joins us from the Ottawa Bureau. Taria, we appreciate this. So let's begin with the comments.
I don't think, upon further review, I don't actually know if this was an accident or if this was done intentional to try to stage it as an accident. Microphones are rarely left on around leaders like that. And the fact that someone caught that and then had the time to, it looked like maybe it was a media camera. So they had the time to post it online, edit it, and then throw it up. Because I don't know if that was directly on a live stream. I just feel like the mainstream media's job is to ask questions and, not get these little exposés on Justin Trudeau. So I feel like it was staged. I don't feel like it's so weird, man. What the hell do you trust these days? Right? Like, how convenient amidst all this tariff stuff. Like, when's the last time that Trudeau ever got hit with the hot mic? Right? Like, when has that ever happened? When has that ever happened? Like, very rarely. It's always in a time of insane turmoil where it's like, oh, wow. Whoa, look what he said behind closed doors. It's a real threat. I think it's just a way for him to, oh, whoops, we got a hot mic. And then, come on, Canada, see, it's a real thing, man. We really got to band together on a Team Canada approach and take American liquor off the shelves. That's just I'm not to be skeptical or to be conspiracy, but the convenience aspect of it, you just got to sit there and question it sometimes.
Prime Minister caught on a hot mic. What did he say?
So Prime Minister Justin Trudeau started the morning addressing a packed room, and it was a very go Canada go, speech to sort of get the crowd motivated to figure out new ways to tackle so many economic challenges that have really come into sharp focus since Trump's tariff threat. But then he had said, okay, media, it's time to leave the room so that some of the people in attendance can ask questions privately. But his mic was not cut off. The audio was still rolling. And he said that after his conversation with Trump, so you might remember he had 2 phone calls with him this week, that he believes that Donald Trump's threats to Canadian sovereignty are real, that they are serious. And he had pointed to the fact that Trump is well aware of how Canada is a very rich country in terms of natural resources. And so let me just read back to you some of what Trudeau had said to the room. He said, I suggest that not only does the Trump administration know how many critical minerals we have, but that may be even why they keep talking about absorbing us and making us the 51st state. Mr. Trump has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country, and it is a real thing. So those remarks are a lot more candid than what we've heard from the Prime Minister. you know, when Trump first made the comments about Canada becoming the 51st state, they were largely dismissed as a joke. But as he continued to make those comments, ministers, the Prime Minister, started taking it more seriously. And you see just how seriously now that comment is being taken.
Yeah, no question. Joke or not, a lot of people in this country, most people certainly not laughing. So what has the reaction been to those comments?
So some of the ministers spoke this afternoon, and they were very clear. Canada will never be part of the U.S. Canada will never be annexed. It is a sovereign country. Business leaders, political leaders, everybody is on board with that, and they seem to be really quite fired up. So take a listen to what they had to say.
Canada's free. Canada is sovereign. Canada will choose its own destiny. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw some of that. Look, I don't know, man. I don't think I believe it, really. Could it have been staged? Yes, absolutely. It could have very well been staged. Could it have been a real hot mic? Yes. I mean, absolutely maybe. Yes, it could be a real hot mic. I'm not here to get you thinking about a conspiracy or nothing, but the convenience aspect of it. I mean, when's the last time that Trudeau had a hot mic? Like, it just seems crazy. And even when you look at the comments, man, let's look at the comments. The top comment on this is mics are never left on by accident. I actually left my own comment, but it probably got put into the spam folder. I said Trump's about to grab Canada by the by the meow. Look, I don't know, folks. I don't know what to say. Was the hot mic real? Was it not? You're gonna have to come up with your own conclusion on that. But just know that we are in this Team Canada bubble right now, where all politicians are trying to rile people up and get them excited about retaliatory response or the potential of a retaliatory response to America. So could this be part of the branding strategy? That's the golden question. But that's where I'm going to end today's video. I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments, not just about whether this was a real hot mic or whether it was a plant, but just about any of the other topics that were covered. And if you haven't yet already, I'd like to encourage you guys to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you all later on. Bye for now.